The first question for me is, considering how long 3D Realms were working on it, when you guys took over the project, how much more work needed to be done?
Well, it's a complicated question because games are very complex. In terms of the vision of the game and the plan for the game, I'd say it was about 95% there. In terms of the actual effort and the man-months involved, I calculated that over the time that 3D Realms had been making the game, they spent somewhere between 3,000 and 4,000 man-months. Our plan, by the time we ship, will spend between 2,500 and 3,000 man-months. So there's a lot of effort involved, and everybody working on today, everybody on the team is just working day and night to make sure this happens. But in terms of the vision and what that story is that we're playing, that's 3D Realms' vision.
So, when you saw the build for the first time, was there anything that just made you think, what the hell were they thinking? And I guess, how much of your guys' creative input have you put into the remaining 5%?
Well, I'd seen the game many times over the years. You know, they're down the street. Like I said, I've known George my entire professional career, and a lot of us are friends between the studios. So we've had opportunities to see and play Duke Nukem Forever over the years. And every time I've gone over there and had a look, I've been blown away. There's always some incredible things that it's like, geez, why can't you guys just commit to that? Just put it together and ship it, you know? And these guys, they wanted perfection, and I think that was part of it. I don't think you can sum up, though, what went wrong. I think there's a lot of very smart people that have always been involved, and I think if you ask any of them, they all have slightly different takes on it. I think if it were a very simple answer, they would have fixed that. But it's been a lot of fun since we've been able to invest and bring everybody together and get the resources behind it. We've all had a lot of fun, and so there's all kinds of little things that we've been able to do to it. I think you know, at the moment that, gosh, there's about 5 things I can point to that I thought were just incredible. There's also things like, when you look at them, you're like, wow, really? Like, did you really need to put that? I'm thankful for it. Like, drawing on the whiteboard. You know, it's like, that took some engineer about 6 months just to make that happen. And it's like, I'm thankful for that as a gamer, but it's not something you see in other games for a reason. At one point I played it in the game, there's a fully functioning pinball machine. And the pinball machine alone is like, that could be a commercial pinball machine. It's like a fully designed out, like that probably took 2 or 3 guys a year just to make that one thing in the game. By the way, I was playing the pinball machine, and it's really fun, and I made a mistake, and I lost the ball, and I just about shit myself, because when I lost the ball, Duke Nukem says, damn, I've got balls of fail. And I just, that was great.
So I guess my own major concern over the years is that when Duke Nukem 3D, Duke Nukem 1 and 2 came out, the world was a very different place. You know, Duke Nukem was a very sort of 90s or 80s even action era, I'd say. So, do you think the game calls back to an era? Do you think Duke has become old hat, that the attitude has become obsolete in today's slightly more politically correct is a bad way of saying it. A slightly deeper environment, deeper storytelling, deeper characters?
It's an interesting question. I don't know. We'll find out. I know a couple of things, though. I know we've all cared about Duke. We've watched him, we've made fun of him, every time there's been something that's given us hope, we've held on to that, like we believe again. So there's a lot of interest in Duke, and I know it's not because of all the great games that have come out. So there's something about this character that's very compelling and interesting. For me, it's weird, you know, when he first existed, he was definitely an amalgamation of all of the heroes of that era. And he was almost like the most extreme of all those heroes. Since then, our heroes have changed a lot. There's almost been like a pussification of our heroes. They're all very emo today. And it's interesting. It's so odd to think that this guy that was like, this character that was created as an amalgamation of like the typical like the stereotypical cliche hero is now actually kind of fresh compared to all of like how heroes have gotten all deep and emotional and shit. And it's, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I think for those of us that played Duke 3D and have been gamers this whole time, it makes perfect sense. The real test is with new gamers, and I'm very fascinated to find out what happens with that.
I remember myself just recently after I played Kane Lynch 2, and I heard Duke Forever was back on track. I wrote a little comment saying, alright, fine, 13 years, we'll forget about that, we'll wipe the slate clean. Just please don't make me hide behind a bit of wall again.
You won't.
Oh, thank you. That sounds good. So I guess that leads me to the question, are you worried about what sort of reception the game's going to get? Do you think people are going to be, like, hold the delay over the game? Because the example you gave earlier of Daikatana, I think a lot of the critical mauling that got was because of the amount of time we were forced to wait for it, as well as it being a pretty bad game. So is that a concern?
I think it'd be foolish for it not to be a concern. I mean, I can't imagine anything that can hold up to the measure of 12 years or 13 years of development. But I also know that I have to ignore all of that. I know that that pressure is a huge part of why we've never been able to actually play the finished game. These guys wanted perfection, and each time when something just wasn't quite right, or something was great, but there was maybe a different way they could have done it, they would actually try it the other way or redo things. And I think my obligation, my duty, so that we can actually all finally play this game is as much as possible in my seat as, I mean, I'm now responsible and accountable for Duke Nukem and Duke Nukem Forever. I think my duty is to ignore all that pressure and to make sure it's delivered. At that moment, we'll all, have that. At least that we'll have that, and we'll judge it, of course. But that is a better result than not having it, no matter how it turns out. Whether it's a 30 or a million, I don't know how high the score can get there or how low the score can get, but I know we need to have this. In a way, too, I think we all kind of need, like, do you remember when we heard in May that it was shut down? That was the shittiest ending to this whole drama. Like, it's like, really, you're just gonna fizzle it out like that? Come on. And that's gonna be it? Like, I liked how you coped with it. That was pretty funny, the mock review as if the game had come out. But it was really a shitty end to that story. And there has to be something at the end for us to really feel like, and I think in a way we all kind of need to be kind of triumphant, I've played it, it's great, it delivers. I mean, for me, it's like, holy shit, I'm Duke again, it feels like Duke, and it delivers. And so what I've got to do is I've got to keep everybody's heads on straight, not worry about the pressure, and make sure it ships. I think I'm in a good seat for that. Gearbox's first game was Half-Life Opposing Force, following Half-Life, a lot of pressure there. I was responsible for helping Microsoft and Bungie bring Halo to the PC and creating the netcode that allowed that to be played on the internet for the first time. I probably witnessed the very first teabag. And so I've been in spots similar. I don't think anyone could ever imagine a spot like Duke Nukem Forever, but right now I'm just ignoring the pressure because I know that was a big part of what maybe is why we've been waiting so long.
So I just have one more question, I won't go to the floor, but on the subject of following on, do you think there's a future for Duke Nukem as a franchise? Is there like room for a Duke Nukem Forever and Ever and a bit more?
Well, when I made the investment to buy not just the game but the whole franchise, I wouldn't make such a decision without believing that there was a future there. I haven't thought about the future. We haven't planned it yet. Right now we have to be laser focused on this, because if we work out a long-range plan and it's awesome, but all of the mind share and attention that went to that kind of prevented this from happening, then that would be the worst mistake. So we have to put all of our attention on making sure this game's delivered, and then we'll take a deep breath, recover from whatever, I don't know what's going to happen, so we'll see what happens. We'll either be partying or weeping in a fetal position in the corner. Something will happen, but we'll react to whatever happened, and then we'll begin thinking about the long range.